Good afternoon, YouTube, and it is Larixo says back with a video. I know it's been a while since I made one. I have just been not sort of making them because I was every month or so I thought I'd give it a rest for a while. But now I have got some new stuff to show you. I can actually show you properly. The last time that I actually did a video, it was for the Kanto Remainder Send-Off, which was ended with Team Dragonair and Dragonite, and it went on to Mew. And then from there, I did the Johto start, which is the second region from the series. So I have got quite a few Johto cards graded in Pokedex order. So the first one we're going to go for is Chikorita, and you can see that this is a first edition, and yeah, as you may tell, I do have a ring light, so that's why the reflection is so bad. Let me see if I can change it slightly just to get you a better view of it. Probably not, but let's have a look. There we go. That's better. So you may be able to see on the Chikorita that it is a first edition card. This was from the Neo Genesis era. And it was graded a 7, which I'm quite surprised by because I thought all these cards were going to be graded less, but obviously not. Yeah, so that is a 7. Then we have Bayleaf, which is also from the Neo Genesis collection, and this is also a first edition. The first edition cards seem to go for more if they're graded. If it was a 10, it'd be worth more, but at the moment it's not going to be worth a great deal, but it's still a first edition, and it is an 8, which means it is in mint condition. So it obviously shows that on the second attempt on the Pokemon collections I took more care. Then after that one we have Meganium, as a lot of people like to call it, and this one is a Swirl Hollow. As you can see, you might not be able to see because the ring light's slightly getting in the way, but let me try and douse it for you. But that is a swirl pattern right there, and this is from the Mysterious Treasures collection. I did try and get a Meganium from Neo Genesis, but I just don't think I haven't got around to it. But the swirl pattern on this is really nice, if you can see it. That I prefer the pattern on the older ones because they're just more care. Then we have Cyndaquil, which is from Neo Genesis, and that is also a first edition. You don't really see a lot of first editions around anymore because they just don't make them, or maybe they do, but you just don't know their first edition. So there was a second art to this one as well, as an alternative art. I think it was Cyndaquil sitting in a house or a fire, I'm not actually sure. But yeah, I had this one, it was also first edition, so I'm very happy that I got an 8. Then we have Quilava, which is also, again, a first edition from Neo Genesis. This also got an 8, which I'm very happy with. This one also had an alternative artwork. I can't remember what the alternative artwork was, but it did have one for definite. That is also a first edition. Now, I have got Typhlosion, but this is from Unseen Forces. I never got round to getting the Typhlosion from Neo Genesis because by the time I got round to getting them, the price of the Typhlosion in Neo Genesis had got a few £100, and I couldn't justify it. But this got a 4. It is the old holographic pattern. There's a slight swirl on the head. The swirly patterns seem to be worth more than the new ones. And yeah, that is just the Typhlosion. Next we have Totodile, which is also a first edition from Neo Genesis, and that got an 8. I do have another one of these, which I haven't got graded yet, because for some odd reason I kept them both behind each other. I didn't even realise. So yeah, Neo Genesis 8 for Totodile. Then we have Croconaw, which is not a first edition, but it is a Neo Genesis nonetheless. And I think you could possibly get an alternative version, I'm not too sure. I can't remember, but it's illustrated by Ken Samugri, who did most of the old illustrations back in the day. And if you found one of these and you got it signed by him, then it'd be worth a lot more. I haven't actually seen any more of Ken Samugri's work recently. Next one we have is Mysterious Treasures for Alligator. This is also the old pattern swirl, and yeah, it looks good. I do like this card. The Neo Genesis one I never got, well I did, but I think it was so damaged, I don't remember what I did with it. But yeah, that got a 9, so that's a good card. Then we have Sentret, which is also an 8. That's not the first edition, but Sentret was that is also from Neo Genesis. Yeah, that got an 8 by MGC. Next we have Furret, which is a first edition, and that got also an 8 from MGC. Not a rare, but it's an uncommon. Nice card. Then we have Huthud, which isn't a first edition, but it is Neo Genesis again, and that got a 6. So quite a few greats so far. And then Noctowl, which isn't a rare, but it's an uncommon, and that is a first edition, and that got a 7. I was hoping they'd really do this as a holo, to be honest with you. There is a Huthud in the background. After all these years, I've only just realised. So that's that one. And then I do have one of the big hitters from the Neo Genesis collection, not a first edition, but it is Lugia. I got this graded a while back because I wanted it done now rather than later. So that is a Neo Genesis Lugia. Unfortunately, it's only a 2. If I had a better condition card, it would be worth a lot more. But yeah, so that's what I've got so far. There will be more MGC send-off videos coming soon. Just stay tuned, basically. Bye-bye.